Okay, thank you for being here at such a short notice. This is the first meeting for the Education Subcommittee for Online Presenters. And what's the purpose of having this committee is to focus on the workshops we're looking to have for online presenters in 2021. Now, since we know one another, I will not spend time in introducing. What I would love is for everyone in this meeting and participating to stop me at any given time if we have questions, to share your feedback and to just participate. And I think that's a given here. All right, so the first item is I'm going to just check the scope of work here. The scope of the committee. So like I mentioned, workshops in 2021. Do you have any other items you would like to include in the subcommittee?
Are you saying comedy? Excuse me.
At least it's not my dog.
It's like right as you start talking, she decides to bark.
It's all right. It's all right.
Okay, so are you saying comedy, COMEDY?
CO
Committee.
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 Yeah.
The comedy
Yeah.
committee.
Yeah, that's what happens when you spend the whole day speaking in French. I apologize. Committee.
Committee. Okay, got it.
The work group. The work group.
Oh, we could be doing a comedy group, who knows? All right. So I do have one question. Like, how many meetings are we planning? Not meetings, but how many are we planning on taking away from the regular Monday night meeting, or is this a separate meeting that we're setting up?
So that would come up in the workshop schedule as third item, but since you already raised it, personally, I would believe that we should not take it from the Monday club meeting hours. Let's leave that for normal club meetings, and let's instead focus on another day, for example, the Saturday or Sunday for workshop.
Yeah, see, now I disagree with that, but you've got, okay, so let me let you go through your stuff and then we'll come back to that.
Sure.
Okay.
Having said that, I understand that since we're an advanced club, we also want variety in our Monday meetings. So there's no right or wrong, which means that we can just say, okay, today we're not going to have a normal meeting. We're just going to have this workshop. As long as members are getting something away, they are entertained, they're having fun. That's what matters from my perspective. So that would be the scope. Now the workshop themes, that's the second item. I'd like to hear from you because we do specialize in online presentations and webinars. Are there any specific themes that we should be focusing on, we should be having over 2021, and are there themes that we should be avoiding? Like when I say avoiding, themes that can be a waste of time for our group of advanced Toastmasters.
All right, Elaine, you want to go first?
I'm going to approach this sideways. Sometimes you find a person who is such an example of an exemplary Toastmaster, and they're generous of spirit and contribution, that you talk with them, or you know of a topic that they have that might serve us well. I think most people that we have been encountering, we have dialogue with them about what's a match. So I don't think we need to say, what do we want to exclude? I think sometimes we find a resonance with a person that seems to kind of fit with the vibe of our group. And then we find a topic. And because there's a developmental process to finding people and scheduling, every month that goes along, it's like the world is a different place. You know, what we thought we may have needed a month ago can be different from what we're feeling we need now, just given the climate of the world. So I think the topics can be found. Finding the people is almost more important. So that's my sideways commentary.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to agree with what Elaine says. However, I think for me, this also comes out of whether or not I'm taking additional time out of my schedule or if I'm meeting on the Monday nights. You know, our time becomes very precious, and a lot of us are already in 4 different Toastmaster clubs and this and that. And I look at it that there is, if I'm going to go to something that's extraneous, it's got to be really strong, or my district is putting it on, they're requiring me to go, which happens. But when I say it's going to be really strong, it's got to be something that I'm not doing myself. So for instance, if you want to have a set of workshops that Derek is putting on, and he is taking us through 5 or 6 presentations on how to get those visuals, how to do this, how to do that, and he's literally teaching classes like that, totally in. If we're just pot shooting and we're taking this person over here and that person over there, then I'd rather have a Monday night, because that's not going to get me everywhere that I need to be. It might give me a little hint of something, but if I'm going to be doing a lot of these and you're expecting people to show up, you have to have some continuity. So either you have to have a theme, or you have to have one person like Fercy who's going to take us through 6 different sessions. And what is he going to teach us? And how is that going to work? And is anybody going to want to do that? You know, I mean, what speaker is going to want to take 5 or 6 sessions unless they're creating a class and they're using us as the guinea pig to see how the class is going. So
Right.
my theme works on whether we're doing Monday night. If we're doing Monday nights, then I go with Elaine. You find the person, then you pick the topic. If we're going to do non-Monday nights, I think you have to have the theme and really know where you're going with it. And I think you have to be careful. We only have another 6 months to go. And there is just so many weeks in the month that we can put something on. So it's a thought.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am now really leaning toward what Lois is saying about our guest workshop leaders or presenters going on a Monday night, because of the rhythm, because of the time, and because we are still frequently doing the speechathons to give our members opportunities for speaking. But having our special speakers as part of our regular schedule, I think, does elevate what our group represents and the level of education that we're offering.
And I agree with that. I think it really should be on a Monday night. That way our members have the opportunity to go to it. They like anything that's unique. You know, they liked the trial. They liked being able to play. And, you know, you don't necessarily have to have a Fercy or some of these others, but you have to, in my mind, like if I was creating something like this, I want it to be fun. I would like to take one meeting, and I say I would like to. I'm already doing it in one of my other clubs because they let me do anything I want. So I have so much fun with this club. And what we're doing one time is basically a day at the Improv where you can't talk, but you have to get your point across through your visuals. And it's really difficult. Like we do the happy birthday song every meeting that somebody has a birthday. We all put it on mute and we sing to them, and we, you know, happy birthday, you know, however you want to do it, to show all the words of happy birthday to you, you know, and it's fun. And it's a way to get people out of their chair. It's a way to get them back into their body language, because we're losing body language movements. So many of us sit here And so what we're going to be practicing is how to get out of your chair. No one can sit in a chair. You all got to be standing when you talk. You know, turn off your virtual screens. We don't care what your background looks like, but we want to see your body and we want to see you moving. And so do you need to have these fabulous speakers, or do you need to do something like what we did with the trial, or something where we do a day at the Improv where we've got two people keying off of each other? I mean, we've done that before. And I got to tell you, one of the funniest people was Andy Byrne doing that. I did that at a group, and he was a hairdresser and he was talking to somebody in the chair, and he came out with this accent of just, so what do you want today? And we all just about dropped because we knew Andy Byrne could do that. But, you know, we had one guy where they found buried treasure, and one wanted to keep it and one wanted to spend it. You know, one wanted to turn it in and another one wanted to spend it. And so it was the conversation of how you get things moving. So we could do our own workshops if we come up with different ideas. So then the question is, you only have 6 months left. Are you going to do one a month? Are you going to do every other week? How many are you going to do? How many do you want to do?
Well, with respect to what's happening, not only at the club but at VTM Con, I'm looking to have personally only one a month.
Okay.
We do have a lot of speakers who are booking the speaking slots. If you look at the trend over the last 6 months, uh, the club members, the first slot that they book is the speaker slot. Then everything comes later. So I'm also not looking to hog the normal club meetings with workshops and special events. But
Well, you can rearrange the agendas. So if we're going to have a special event on the last Monday of the month, you can say the second Monday of the month is a 1 hour speechathon. And that's how we pick up the other speaking slots. Because you're doing the
that makes
table
sense.
topics basically. If you're doing interactive events versus somebody just coming in like a Roger Corvell and talking to us, if we're doing interactive, where we're breaking off into breakout rooms and we're practicing something or we're doing something unique, that's table topics, no matter how you're doing it. So we're putting that in their hands. They're doing it. It's hands-on. And so you could do your speechathons the second Monday of the month where you've got 6 speakers. Do it in 1 hour.
That's a good point.
That's what that is.
So if that's the case, then we have speakathon every month, then a workshop, at least one workshop every month, because in March and April we also have the contest. March is the International Prepared Speech Contest, and April is the webinar contest. So we still need to factor those two in. So those.
Well, those are your workshops. They're the unique things
Yeah.
that we're doing. They're your workshops.
Exactly. So March
So
and April.
really, you only have. You probably don't have enough time to do January. And what did you say? When are they? March and April?
Yep. The dates, we still need to lock them down, but the speech contest would be in March. The online webinar contest would be in April. That means we are left with May, June, and February. February, we have locked down Thursday on a Saturday because in his series of email exchange I had with him, he mentioned that Monday was not working for him. He would prefer Saturday, so we went with that. Having said that, it doesn't mean that we cannot do something special for the club in February because his event is on a Saturday.
Yep.
So, Lois, that event you were talking about where you have two people playing off each other, what's the name of that kind of event? Is it like improv or?
We're calling it a day at the Improv. So basically you give 2 people a role, and the way you do it, I know you guys probably get so tired of all these unique things that I think of, but
Oh,
The way we do it is as many people as you call up that's in the event is how many minutes that skit is going to take. It's really a skit. So if I call you and Elaine up, it's a 2-minute skit. Now you, Christian, might take 1 minute and 45 seconds and Elaine only has 15 seconds, but you have 2 minutes. Now, if I'm also in the group, it's a 3-minute skit. So the idea is it's supposed to give everybody a minute, but it's not a monologue. It's not Christian, you speaking for a minute and then Elaine speaking for a minute. It's interaction. And it's for you to use accents. It's for you to get outside of who you are. It's a day at the improv. You just put people in silly situations and let them talk about it. You know, how are we going to do this? You know?
all right. So would it be something that you would be available to chair in February?
Yeah, we could do that in February.
Okay. So I'm looking at the dates, and by the way, I'm just mixing workshop themes and workshop schedule right now. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
that's fine. So
Yeah.
we're February, March, April. So let me think of some of the others that we're doing. So we only have 2 more, May and June. So another one we're doing is vocal variety, that we are concentrating only on vocal variety. And basically what we do is we have someone come in and they give a 5 to 7 minute speech on vocal variety, right? And we can have one of our members do that. And then we go into breakout rooms and everybody has the same slip of paper that they've got to work on the vocal variety. And they pick it out of the hat, whatever, and they have a scene that they have to do, table topics, and they have to incorporate what they just learned in the vocal variety. Now, vocal variety can be something like, usually I do it at Halloween time, so it's very scary and campfire type stuff, so that, you know, people are learning how to use their dramatic voice. But it's something where, you know, I mentor a lot of people, and one of the things when people say is, I can't get the different voices going. And so I tell them, go to the library and read to kids, because you have to pick up all those voices. So there's a book called Maniac McGee, and even if you just get the excerpt of it, you can play all of the characters in there. We could even do it as a group that, you know, you have it on the screen and you don't have to really be seeing people, but you have 3 or 4 different, or any book, you have 3 or 4 different characters, one page, and you pull 3 or 4 people out of the audience and say, okay, get into character, here's who you are, read it. And it gives them the opportunity to play with high falsettos or low pitches or whatever. But the idea is to figure it out. You know, there's another exercise that I do, which is really interesting. And it's taking the statement, I never said she stole the money. And what I ask people to do is put an emphasis on the first word, the second word, and the third word. And so I would go, let me put it in the chat and we'll let you guys do it so you could see.
Elaine, are you still following her? Because I'm a bit lost here.
Oh, I am. I started immediately getting to the space of how would I say that? Or
Right.
how would I emphasize the first 3 words?
Nope, you only emphasize one word. So
Oh,
say the
okay.
statement and only emphasize the first word.
Okay. So, ladies first. Go on, Elaine.
wait a minute. I never said she stole the money.
Okay, so what word did she emphasize?
Never.
You emphasize the second. Try again and emphasize the first.
I never said she stole the money.
Okay, try the third now.
Elaine?
I never said she stole the money.
Okay, and you've got the fourth.
I never said she stole the money.
Okay, so you guys pick it up and you can do this. I go to a lot of groups and they say it like this, I never said she stole the money. And then we're all like, okay, which word are you emphasizing? So the idea is to see if people can actually take sentences and put emphasis on it. And we do have a lot of people from other nationalities that this might be a way for them to play with the vocal variety. I mean, it's very simple for the three of us. You know, Christian, you're a 3-time DTM. Elaine, you are, you know, you have your own speaking type stuff, but there are people out there that cannot do this exercise. And I mean, we go back over it again and again and again. And then after they say the sentence, I go, okay, what word does everybody think they emphasized? And everybody comes up with different words. And then the person's like, oh, okay. Because they can't figure out how to emphasize.
So, Lois, I have a question for you. How do we take it up a notch for advanced Toastmasters, people who are used to, like for Elaine and me, you mentioned that we picked it up fast. So how do you make it more challenging for us, and we still get like a lot of takeaways out of it?
Well, I think first of all, we still have a lot of people that are basic.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody in our group is going to be able to do this, but it is an exercise that if you're going to do vocal variety and they go into breakout rooms, you can break it up and say, okay, Elaine, you know, emphasis on the first word, second, you know, you can go around the room and say, here's the emphasis. But then what you can do once everybody can do that is tell a story, you know, and you tell a scary story because that's usually the easiest, or you read a kid's book, or you're doing something that is outside of your norm. And a kid's book, what's nice about that is you don't know the whole context of the kid's book. You only know what I'm putting in front of you. So you're kind of thinking fast on your feet, trying to understand the context and figure out how's that going to work. And I mean, you could take the Grinch, you know, I mean, BDC, he did an amazing job on the Grinch, you know, and so what did he do so well? He had those dramatic pauses. So we could put a whole bunch of different excerpts in each of the room. Then we can play with it that each room goes ahead and picks their favorite storyteller, come back to the main room and have a competition. You could do that. You know, those are always popular.
In honor of managing time, and I agree with you that this kind of exercise would be excellent to have in May.
Yeah.
So if there's some feeling on it, we can decide on that, and then the finer points of it can be nailed down later.
Okay.
I would ask, I would wonder with VTM coming up in June.
It's something, yeah. It's something
I
that
don't know that we need to have extra special workshops in June because
yeah.
it's just me. It's just a kind of a gut thought.
Sure. So June
Going to
is
be
like,
doing lots of extra special attention. And
I don't even know if
time.
we need it in May.
well, we could use it, run it as a trial in May and see if we can use it in VTMCon in June, because we are going to have a lot of breakout rooms. Like so far, what we're looking to have is a total of 4 workshop experts or workshop speakers. So two on each day we're going to have 2 speakers, and after each speaker we'll have like 30 minutes of breakout rooms. One breakout room is with a speaker, one breakout room is going to be for networking, and one breakout room is going to be a specific theme. So why not have this as a theme? I don't know if 30 minutes is enough for that. Looks like 40 to 45 minutes, something like we could. I A lot of people will like, will really enjoy it, and it really hits the different cultures, because at the end of the day we're all speaking English, and it's my third language. Committee Comedy, so I still struggle with that. Now think about people who, we're still learning the processes. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Lois? Is it something we can fit in like a 30-minute segment at VTM Con as well?
Are you talking about for May? You're talking
Yeah.
about for June?
Well, I'm talking for May for online presenters. and then June at VTM Con, not online presenters, but VTM Con, separate.
Oh, VTM com. Yeah, you could do any of this in 30 minutes, I mean, it's really you could do a day at the improv in 30 minutes. That's
Right.
basically getting your body moving. This is your vocal variety. Basically what we're doing is going back to the basics of the competent communicator for us. We are trying to figure out how to move, how to work the two most important aspects of who we are, get our vocals moving and get our body moving. I mean, I would prefer,
Lois,
yeah.
I want to just second that doing the exercise in May or whenever we do, exploring vocal variety this way, especially in our club. I mean, we have an international club, and while, some, all the members had, well, 95% of the members have come in under the, meeting our joining requirements, but still come in at different skill levels, and especially where, English is a second language. So in that sense, it absolutely is perfect alongside the other things we're bringing the focus to, and that is making this transition or bridge between in-person speaking and online speaking, and all the ways of doing that effectively. So
Right.
I second this as a workshop topic.
Right.
Yeah, I
So,
think at VTM Con, you can absolutely do this kind of stuff like that.
okay.
This is probably some of the stuff that, you know, originally I think you can think of for your breakout rooms. You can have fun stuff and you can have serious, how to coach a club, how to get new members, why is Pathways so important? How do you teach it to your brick and mortars of the importance of this? Let's do a day at the improv. Let's do vocal variety. Let's do transitional table topics. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do. Let's do competition debates. There's all kinds of table topics that you can put together.
well, one of the things that I know Lucas wants to have is a panel discussion. So that's something that uh, we he wanted to have it in February. So I'll see with him, because right now I'm looking at February. From my perspective, we are going to have on the 8th of February a speakathon. Then on the 15th of February, it's going to be possibly a day at the improv
On the 15th,
on the 15th. But please give me till this weekend to confirm that.
let
If
me
it's not
make
on the
sure.
if it's not on the 15th of February, we'll push it to the 15th of March. I think March 15th is checking this right now. Yeah. So if I'll just check with Lucas, because I know he had already started discussion with some of his of his panelists. So I'll confirm that with you by end of this weekend
Well,
to
if
see
he's
what.
going to do it in February, March, we have our speech contest, then
Right.
we can move a day
So
at the improv to May.
okay.
Because really, you already have March and April booked.
Yeah.
So if he does his panelists in February, then day at the improv is May and you're done.
Okay. Then, what about the vocal variety item? Do you think it's something just too much now?
Yeah, I think if you're putting panelists in, which is fine, I think we're going to try and do too many things at once. So I would say if February is the panelist with Lucas, and he's taken up an actual Monday night meeting, then March and April are already done. Then you've got May, and I think
Oh,
like what Elaine said, it's too much to try and put something else into June when you have the VTM con.
yeah.
I think
Uh,
that's too many unique
so
things.
one other thing, the contest would be the last week of the month, so 29th of March for the prepared speech. And March is, I think, a month with 5 Mondays. So if you're open to it, we could fit in the uh, the day after improv on the 15th.
I cannot do March 15th. I will not be there because
Ah,
my district has a meeting that I have to go to.
okay, no problem.
I can
Oh,
do the 22nd or the 8th, but then again, it depends on what day you're doing Lucas.
Lucas is going to be in February, not in March.
Okay, so Lucas is in February. And the 29th is the March speech contest.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So would you
So
be okay with the 8th?
yeah, I can do the 8th. I mean, it doesn't have to be me. There's somebody else that if Elaine wants to take it, that's fine, because I run a lot of these things and I don't want to seem like I'm the only one running it. Happy to do it, but I just, you know,
Then would you be up for it under
Early
Laura's
March,
guidance?
I have things going on. I'm going to a wedding in Florida. Can't do it.
you're coming to Florida.
Tampa, my brother at age 70 is getting married for the second time, was widowed
Nice.
in 2002, found the love of his life with amazing synchronicities. It's like the hand of God was showing, connecting
Nice.
these people in the most amazing way. So,
Wow, there's at least a speech in that
yeah.
adventure.
I have to be leaving in just a few
Sure.
minutes. So the person that I was going to bring up is actually a good candidate for BTMCon. So I'll just bring something up briefly on screen, and then I'll send it to you via email, and it can go to the talent committee.
Sure thing. By the way, we have gone over workshop themes, schedule, and facilitators experts. We've just wrapped all of three of them in one item. It's crazy, but we did it. Yes, Elaine, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Let me see if you should be able to. Yeah, you can share.
All right. Let me. And then I gotta see how I can bring up. Hold on. All right. Now let's see if I can bring it up. I'm trying to bring up a Word doc. Where is it? Here it is. I think is it this one? Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Okay. This lady's name is Nancy Jutton. She's the vice president of education for Barclay Toastmasters, but it's only within the last half a year I learned she had any affiliation with Toastmasters. She has been in the marketing arena for a long time, helping people like create their speaker one sheets and great bios. But the specialty work now that she's talking about a lot now is about how to be a presence in podcasts. And of course, many podcasts are now both video and audio. So I will send you her, or I'll forward her bio. She's doing an event on January 21st for her region, all about, podcasting, being media ready. And I
Is the
have
event
connected with her personally multiple times in this year. And I mentioned, you might be a great candidate for VTMCon.
hmm,
She is humble. She is witty. She's an amazing presenter that I
uh,
think might hold great value in any number of possibilities for
sorry.
VTMCon.
Is the event she's running on in January open to uh, to everyone who can? Is there like a registration link available?
Yeah, I think I mentioned the date of June to her, and so
No,
she said,
no.
"What was your
For
question?"
the event that she is running in January. You mentioned that she's having one event in
Yeah,
January, right? Uh,
there's an Eventbrite listing for it. I'll include this when I email it to you.
okay.
So that would be a good way to experience what she's capable of. And obviously, she does, talks that are talking to you,
Mm,
but I know she is very engaging, and I'm sure has the capability to do programs that have a lot of engagement as well.
great. Thank you for sharing, Elaine. That's
So I got to run to another meeting, but
okay.
I will send this to you, Christian, and then you can forward to whomever for VTM Con
Yep.
consider.
We'll forward it to the talent team. No problem. Thank you, Elaine.
Okay.
Thanks, Elaine.
All right. Good
Take care. Bye
meeting.
bye. Thank you. So,
Yep.
Lois, quick recap.
Yep.
Uh, February, we're going to have Lucas panel discussion. If he is not able to have it in
Okay.
February, I'll come back to you for the day after improv by the
Yeah,
end
check
of
and
this weekend.
see. Yeah, check with Nick and see if he thinks it's too many unique things in one month. I'm just concerned we're putting too much in one
I don't think
month.
so.
Okay.
I'll tell the first chat when he became president and I became VP Education. The first chat we had was he was very keen to have entertaining sessions. But then, as the month went by, what he realized was there were, I would say, habits that we didn't want to, to change too fast. Let's ease in first. Let's see how members react, what members want to have.
Yeah.
But that idea of having a speakathon during a normal session, it really makes up for, I'm going to say, not lost speaking slots, but it accounts for people who won't be speaking. And
Yeah. It offsets.
yeah, those sets. Awesome. So I'll confirm by end of the weekend for the day after improv. April is uh, no event. May is the vocal variety event. Uh, then June no event. All right. And the
Now
vocal
you can
variety.
ask and see if there's anybody that wants to run them. I mean, like I said, I have no problem running it, but I don't want it to seem like I'm the only one that does this stuff, which is probably true,
Well,
but there might be somebody
uh,
who wants to
yeah.
run it.
What I would do is ask them if there's anyone interested in running that specific event. I know the first question that's going to pop up from a number of them is, how do I do it? If I want to do it, how do I do it? If I get those questions, I'll forward them to you for mentoring to get them ready. Would that be okay?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get caught up that I'm doing all the work. If they just have a couple of questions, but you can
Okay,
do a lot of research on the internet for that.
right.
They have to decide how they want to put it together. Everybody has their own ideas. I'm happy to talk with them in the beginning, but I don't want to get on a
I understand.
committee of putting it together because you know me, I'm just kind of like,
Yeah.
just put your head down and go. So I don't want to get caught up in a committee where I have to, what about this and what about it's like, no, just here it is.
So what I will do is by end of this month, I will confirm the facilitator for the May event on the 17th of May. If we get no one, I will come to you. I will kneel,
Okay.
beg, pray for you to do it.
I love doing those things, so I have no problem with it. I think Diane Rubino would be great at either one. The probably a day at the improv. I think she does something like that, so she'd probably be really good.
Okay.
Which is why she could go with that accent so quickly. She got that New York accent that she just like put on. I mean, she was so funny. But I do think there's a couple of people that do improv and so they might be excited about putting it together. And if two people want to put it together, let them connect up and do it together. I
Okay.
mean, there's no right or wrong. It's, my vision is you put them all in breakout rooms and give them scenarios. And you could do the same scenarios in every breakout room and just let people have fun. And then you can do a competition and bring it back if you want. And when you do the competition, you use the exact same scenarios they had in the breakout room. So they're not surprised. They already know what the questions are. They just don't know which one you're going to pick.
True. Yeah. For both events, we can have breakout rooms. Yeah, and we have more
Right.
engagement. Okay.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So everyone's going to get table topics, which is why you can then do a whole meeting of speeches because you have a whole meeting of table topics. That's my justification, hey,
Okay.
that's how I look
All
at
right.
things. But yeah, I'm willing to help out however you need, that. I just feel bad that, I know Nick would just say, here, Lois, you just do it. And I'm fine with that. But on the same token, if you think there are people that want to do it, I mean, I don't know, has anybody ever come to you and said, I want to do something different?
Now, only one new member, Natasha. She wanted to do something, and Mary and Grady wanted to do something, but they're like new members. It's only when we were talking with them about the possibility of them hosting workshops. So what I'll do is, I'll also ask them if they want to do something on specific dates, something
Okay.
we can fit in.
We'll see
Great.
what you come up with. And like I
Yeah,
said, happy to do it. I just,
I
like I've
understand.
always told Nick,
Understand.
I don't want people to think that,
It's all
I'm
about
doing
Lois.
all of it, even though I would. I mean, you can get away with it because I'm the immediate past president, but then I don't know who's going to be president next year. It's going to be very interesting to see how much they lean on Nick or what they do.